Yes. Okay, so welcome back for the reminder of the technology perspective presentations. So we will start with the therapy box presentation from Swapnil. So the platform is yours, Swapnil.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. My name is Swapnil. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Therapy Box. I also have my other co-founder here with me, Rebecca Bright. We started Therapy Box about 11 years ago, and the intention of starting Therapy Box was to bring mainstream technology to help people with communication disabilities. So we primarily offer three things in Therapy Box. So the first one is Predictable. Predictable is a text-to-speech app built for people who have motor neuron disease or other neurodegenerative conditions like MS, CP, and so on. So Predictable is built on iOS and Android platform. It's available in 10 different languages. It's sold in 35 countries. Each of those copies is sold for about 150 euros. We've got about 50,000 downloads so far, and it's received Queen's Award for Innovation as well. So a big success for us. But moving on from that, what we were able to do is build a different platform called Vocal Quest. Vocal Quest is a range of digital resources that includes screening tools for speech and language therapists, as well as, hello. Okay, I'm happy for you to help me with that if you want. Okay, perfect. So I'll just keep going if you want to share that. Okay, so we're talking about Vocal Quest, which is a large library of therapy resources that is comprising of screening tools as well as therapy resources. They are largely built for speech and language therapists as well. We'll go to that in a sec. And that paved the way for us to offer the third sort of offering that we've got, which is to collaborate as co-applicants or co-investigators with research universities like UCL, Sheffield, Strathclyde, and so on. And as part of that, we also work with IDEA and TAPAS project. So we then step in and assist as best as we can to help build a technical solution as well as commercialize it in the future. So those are the three things that we do. I am going to start off with helping explain our experience from a TAPAS project perspective. We had two brilliant ESRs among the 15 brilliant ESRs that were possible to have. And one of it was Zhengjun and another one was Enno. So we'll start off with the first. I might need your help to move the slide forward, but I'm so sorry. Yes, believe it or not, we are a technology business. So Zhengjun started with us where she helped us with Language Explorer project. To start continuing with Language Explorer project, this is a screening tool for children with developmental language disorders. They are between the age of 4 to 8. This project is funded by National Institute of Health Research in UK, and we had a range of different collaborators as well. And what we did as part of that was to collect typically developing children's data. Then we built a tool where we could take an incoming stimulus sample. We could do a transcription improvement stage in the middle, and then we could generate a report based on our report engine. So that's the premise of the project, which will come up in a sec. But what we ended up doing due to pandemic was to actually sort of broaden the way we collect our data. We were, of course, going to go a more traditional approach of actually going out and getting a lab-assisted approach of collecting data. But we said we'll do a citizen science approach where we said we'll build an app on Android or iOS platform, and then parents, teachers, whoever is interested can download from the comfort of their own home and then give us the sample. Our intention was to collect 600 samples that are stratified and balanced. We ended up with nearly 4,000. So that was a fantastic result from a citizen science approach perspective. But that paved the way for Zhengjun to come in and say, let me see what's happening within the data. And she was able to find some fantastic results. One of it was that when we asked children to do a story retell task. I hope, just for those who are not very familiar with the story retell task, is you get shown a story and some pictures, and you get told the story, and then it's your turn to tell the story in return. So you have to follow the pictures. When children tell the story, the parents are not expected to help them. But what we found with Zenjun's help was that parents were helping children at a younger age, and over a period of time, that support was dropping off. But the children at a younger age who did get support actually had a much wider variety of vocabulary and depth to it. And that was an interesting finding, which then paved the way for an interspeech paper. Zengjun has abundant energy, and she strives to do her best. Thank you very much. And then we had the pleasure of having Enno in team. Now, Enno sort of started off with us with the Walker Quest project. Walker Quest project, as I was saying earlier, has got screeners as well as therapy resources. But one of the really powerful things about a project like this is how sophisticated is your technology when you're screening. One of the screeners was fluency. Now, I've heard of many of you touch upon fluencies and disfluencies in particular. One of the challenges for any screener in speech and language therapy is around how do you automate as best as you can without taking away the practitioner's time. So Rebecca's old professor, from what I understand, set us a challenge to say, currently we do fluent or disfluency rate calculation. And there's a very manual way of doing this. So some of you may be familiar with it. The practitioner would pose a question, what did you do over the weekend? You'd elicit a sample. The sample in return might be the child starts speaking. The practitioner now has to have two counters, one in left, one in right. And then she or he starts counting how many syllables have been spoken and how many disfluencies has she counted. It is understandable that there'll be human error in this process because you cannot keep counting syllables accurately for a long production. So what we said was, we can't trust humans, but could we trust Enno? So we brought in Enno. And Enno said, okay, I can try and solve this problem. And he built a method where we could actually automate the counting of syllables. So what that leaves us with is the ability for the practitioner to just focus on the production and listen to the disfluencies and then count just the disfluencies, because rest of the hard work of counting syllables was automated. That set a more consistent counting pattern that we were able to achieve. That code has gone in hands of real users right now. It's commercially available. And it's got a very calm demeanor is the way I would say we observed. And he did it was unflappable, if that's a way to describe it. So I think he's done a fantastic bit of work that has resulted in commercial grade code. I have gone through this, and I will go to the next slide here. Okay, that was the fluency. Now, Matthew wanted me to cover off a little bit more about the future opportunities. So what I wanted to sort of focus on was the 4,000 samples that we have got in varying states. So we only scratched the surface of it in our view. We've got 600 samples that are fully transcribed. They have been sort of age balanced. Then there are 5 socioeconomic statuses that have been, so there's quite a lot of the 600 samples that we got, but in addition to that, we got nearly 3,000 more samples that we haven't yet done anything with. And there's a lot more to be researched. So if anybody's interested as a university or an individual researchers, please do let us know. We'd be very happy to share some of that. The Walker Quest platform also offers an opportunity for individuals to sort of use it either as an off-the-shelf research tool. It's free to use as well. So you could use that. And we collaborate with universities. So if any universities or researchers want to do so, please do get in touch. The one thing that Matthew was quite keen for us to talk about was what can we bring as an insight from our learnings about speech tech and at the intersection of commercial organization? Where does that fit in? And I think that was a really good question because that did make me think a little bit. I felt let me start with opportunities. There are lots of opportunities that we know of. There's voice banking. Some of you have spoken about dysarthric text-to-speech. There's diagnostics. That has also been discussed. So those are some of the problems that we already know of that could affect a meaningful change based on the work that you guys do. But then what are the challenges? The first thing is paradigm shift. What I mean by that is, in our experience, a little bit of step will get you no visibility at all. Feature matching is not enough. You need to have an entirely new way of doing something. And that's just your starting position. Then you get, how good is your MVP? People will tell you MVP is okay to just get you started, but it's not. The reality is people will judge you by the cover. That book will get judged. So you've got to have not just something that works, but something that people will not get distracted with and can make a judgment entirely based on the experience that you've got. Then there's the next challenge of adoption. And who needs a car when I've got a horse? That is what people used to say in the early 1900s. I don't need a car. But now I think we all know we all want a car. But that's the challenge you're going to get. If you're looking to bring in new technology, don't assume that people understand the tech you're offering and how much better in your own mind it is, because people feel they're going to compare it to today. And it's the familiarity that's going to be your biggest challenge. Business model. The next thing that we encountered was that there's an undeniable cost saving that you can offer. And then people will say, all right, I now want that tech for free. How do you make that happen? In the real world, that is very difficult to do. So you're not just saving them money, but you're also making it free for them, and then having some chance of adoption at the end of it. And when you do all of that, you get the likes of Tom Oxley. Now, I don't know if anybody's heard of him, but I'll give you an example. Tom Oxley is a neurologist based in Boston, and he's looking at work of implanting stents as electrodes. So this is BCI. What he's doing is solving the problem that we are trying to improve on by trying to make better tools, by doing ASR, dysarthric speech, so on and so. He is actually going straight to the brain and trying to understand what the brain is thinking and bringing that out as communication. When you do that, where does that leave us? Right? Now, that's a competition that's going to come in the way of a big wave when that technology emerges. So we don't just have to balance out where we are within ourselves competing in this area, but also other technologies that are coming our way as well. Solutions, honesty, understand the problem. We've done this mistake ourselves a lot, and I sort of still tend to do it, but I'll remind ourselves not to do it as much. And what that means is I get just infatuated with technology. And then I try to take that technology and fit it to a solution. And that does not work. You've got to really understand the problem, embrace the problem, find a way to tear it apart that your technology will not work. If you're convinced it will work, ask 100 other people to tear it apart. And if none of them can, then you've got some chance that your technology is the right solution for the problem you identified. So be honest. The next one is funding. You always need more resources than you think you will need. So be prepared for that. And the last one was, because I have been so doom and gloom, small, all of us are much smaller than some of the large organizations, but agile is an advantage. And I can say that with my own experience. Google does not know everything. We've sat in meetings with them, and I can tell you what makes you special is if you really understand the problem and you're convinced about the solution that you're going to put forward, that will give you an advantage, and the speed at which you can bring that product out to market and the disruption that you can deliver in the market is going to be better for the industry. So small is good, not bad thing. With that, I will stop talking. Thank you very much, people.
Thank you, Swapnil, for the nice talk. And the next speaker is going to be Heidi. Yeah. This is the one, right? This is one, right, Heidi, for you. Okay. 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 Then I have to do something here. Close it. Otherwise, you have sharing issues. And then, yeah, share. Hide. Okay, so do I stop and start again? Stop.